Who eliminated you, Thermal? Bly.
Oh, that was Bly 2-1, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking through at the other big names, seeing who, you know, it was Denver 2-0 Vindicta. Not as many super high level players, like of the EU. Obviously, Battalion, as I've seen in some of the cups, but I think everyone's always a bit burnt out after the other two cups over the weekend, right? The EU and the Korean one. The time zone's pretty horrendous for this one, so only the most hardcore, the Denvers, the Blys, the U Thermals staying up for this one.
Yeah, most of Europe will be asleep right now. It's a solid 3 and a bit AM there, maybe even close to 4. So current time, because there is a difference between France and Kiev. So 15 past 3 in the morning in France, and current time Ukraine,
It's 15 past 4, 1 hour. Yeah,
and then it's just after 4 a.m. for Bly. So he's an hour further along than Denver. So even more brutal for Bly. He's been playing since midnight.
So there was a professor in Australian university doing a study about, you know, sleep patterns with pro gamers and studying some of their very unhealthy habits. And he was talking about how, you know, it's most definitely showing a decrease in performance that most pro gamers are waking up at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and going to sleep at 7 a.m. But I think in this case there's a good reason for it. I think there's a very good reason for it. Big tournament, big money, big EPT points.
Indeed. In the top left here, the Frenchman from Infinity Gaming, it is Denver.
And down here in the bottom right-hand side, in the red, representing
13-12.
Your Edge Gaming, it's Bly on fire. And this is what I love Bly for, because I'm like, well, the last time I saw a 13-12 at pro level was a year ago. I'm like, can it work? I don't know. Like, you know, you'll always see like Sue pulls it out or Dark, and they like beat a really good Zerg. And you're like, oh, it does work? Or is it only working just because that guy hasn't played against it in 6 months, you know? So it's like a one-off, and then he's on his toes for it. It's not going to work again. This is a gigantic map. It's going to be massively delayed. And this is a pretty standard opening. 16 hatch. We're going to see the 18 gas, 17 pool for Denver. So, you know, real typical. But, like, I imagine on this map, you have to hide your units and run them around the edges of the Overlord. I think you've got to hide it as long as possible.
I definitely agree with you here. You got to go down to the north path or down the left-hand path. Like,
oh, this is the super all-in version as well.
He's
Wait, no, he does start a queen. I could have sworn he was going to delay the queen completely, just because the queen chews up 2 supply. If you build this, you have to build an overlord now. Whereas you can go the most all-in, hard-hitting, silliest version of it, where you skip the queen completely. He kind of delayed the queen to get fast ling speed, fast bane nest, but he's adding the queen. So it's kind of halfway between the 2 styles that I was thinking of. So it's going to hit with very fast ling speed banes, but then it will still have some reinforce behind it as well once those injects start kicking in.
I was going to say queen is just literally for injects here.
Yeah. Normally you want it faster though, so that first round of injects can line up closer to ling speed.
Is Bly like super supply blocked here?
It's kind of planned at this point because these lings weren't really going to get there anyway. So that's actually kind of what you're intending. Yeah. But he ends up showing it before ling speed finishes by 10 seconds, so he pauses, but then goes in anyway. And then makes the banelings in the face.
Yeah, a power play here from Bly.
Those
Putting
lings.
on the daddy pants.
Oof. Good micro by those lings of Denver, though. Look at he's just buying time. And he's going to try. Yeah, look at that. Pulls back to the choke point. And that buys time for the queen. She gets in the choke point between the minerals. Oh, Denver's doing a fantastic job. 2 spines in the main. I honestly don't see how this could possibly work at this point. This is just perfect reactions by Denver so far.
Oh, Bly is very, very committed here, and he comes with 13 drones.
Oh, you got to run those drones. He's got to get those drones to the right. It's all about the drones. 1 big burst does go down. 2 more banelings. If they find the juicy center, that could be big. Oh!
A great connection there. Most of those mineral drones only 1 shot. Those lings are starting to win the battle here.
Oh my god, I know nothing. You guys can call me Jon Snow for the rest of today, the rest of this week. I thought that was gonna be held. But the banelings, so many banelings. And yeah, like Denver, I guess just needed to maybe spread the drones out a little more. I don't know. Queen's gonna come forward. He's gonna try and do raw power. But as these, oh, Bly's gotta get up on that high ground of those Zerglings. Can't attack the hatch. There we go. Once that Queen's down, I mean, there's so little left here for Denver.
That's fine. That's it.
It's a nice snipe.
Links in the natural.
Nice snipe on the banelings.
He's got a bunch of lings hatching here, and they actually are winning the scuffle. He's trying to break up some lings left side. He really wants to grab those drones, but they've regenerated so many hit points now.
That last Baneling that he sniped just before it finished was actually huge for Denver, because now Bly's got to kind of hide, pull back a little bit. He's got his own hatch on the way behind this. This Baneling morphing in the main base, they're not healthy enough. Oh god, this Baneling's going to...
They actually will get one shot.
Oh, no.
Oh my god. The crouching Zerg hidden Baneling.
Oh.
Damn, dude. That's a brutal Baneling there for Denver.
Denver's thought process right now is 100%.
Are we joking on this?
This Artosis clip that I'm playing.
Are we joking on this right here?
Are we joking on this?
Do you actually see this?
Yeah. That can't be real.
He'd held it. He'd held it, man.
That can't be real. You see this?
Oh, man. I was like, oh, cool. This is going to stabilize into an interesting game. Like, well, that Baneling's not going to finish. And I'm like, it's good to see pro gamers. They make mistakes too. It's a chaotic situation.
It makes me feel better when I see people that are like 2,500 MMR better than I am make similar mistakes and lose. I'm like, you know what? There's hope for me yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, one game advantage here for Bly. He's got to win 3 to close out the best of 5 series. This is the grand finals, the EPT Cup. Bly versus Denver. And we're going into a big boy map again. World of Sleepers. Let's see if there's any build adjustment from the French Zerg to try and play a little bit safer. Bly here coming out hard and fast, winning 3 games in about 15 minutes. And he'd like to make it a 4th and a 5th and close out the whole tournament.
Certainly would. I mean, it's late there, and he's like, you know what? Some quick points, some quick cash, and let's get to bed. He is married. No doubt wifey's like, come on now. Come on, husband. Get off the PC, let's go. And in the bottom left here from Infinity Gaming, it is Denver, with a bit of a brutal loss there in the end.
One cheeky boy in the back of the mineral line. And Bly, he's always looking for those sneaky little things. People like to think they could play a perfect game. These things shouldn't work if I just play properly. But this man understands that he has a gift for making people always play improperly. Those mistakes just flow like a river when this guy's in the game. He knows how to just put his opponent in awkward situations and capitalize. He is Bly.
And he is going for a hatchery first. How quaint. Guess he wants to play the late game here, deep into some minutes.
It's that flexibility, man. I mean, I'm actually so impressed by his ZVT. I remember there was like a year in early Legacy where you talk to Bly at events and he's like, well, yeah, the game's pretty like bad because even late HOTS, he was like, you can't really like do anything aggressive to Terran. And like, he was still trying every type of roach attack, every type of Bane bust. And he was like, well, they're just safe against everything. This sucks. Like, and I think at some point he went back to the drawing board and you can tell he's learned how to do a really strong macro ZVT mixed in with his own flavor, right? His own way of changing things up. So I like seeing that evolution. Now I want to see what he can show us in Zerg vs. Zerg. I imagine something a lot more in the vein of what Dario was playing, TLO earlier. Muters, Ling backstabs, diving in with cheeky aggressive plays, showing roaches while actually going Spire. I think all of that stuff should go really well for Bly.
And Denver's drone moving out. Denver's drone in the main was a little bit interesting there. It's sort of darting back and forth.
Do you think he was checking for a spine on the edge of the creep there?
Yeah, maybe.
It's like Bly's the one guy you're going to check against that for. You're like, you never know if a drone dodged the Overlord, snuck in and is building a spine on the edge of creep just out of your hatchery range. So definitely, I guess that's the only real adjustment from Denver this game though, right? It's still a hatch first. Its Overlord does come in, sees the hatch first of Bly. His Overlord's going a little deep. He'll have to turn around in a moment.
And Denver's going to go towards that third base at 2.5 minutes here. Bly, same deal. Setting those lings across the map here just for a little bit of a poke. Nothing really convincing coming out of either player. It's very, very, very standard from both. Even with the Bailey Nest coming down, this is when you normally get it as like a, I'm just chilling kind of Bailey Nest.
I'm just chilling, man. Oh, the Overlord taking a lot of damage. I was talking about Denver. He left that there a bit long. He's actually going to lose that Overlord. Big misstep by Denver. And the Queen in 2 lengths for Denver will help defend. You could argue this slows down Bly's injects, but he doesn't really care. Often you put a creep tumor at your natural this early anyway, so it doesn't matter if that's delayed by a few seconds. And
Bly's actually not making a Bailey nest here at all. He's just flooding lings.
I like it.
True lies. You like
Classic skip the Bailey nest play. Put the pressure on your opponent so they can't take advantage of it. Round of drones behind it, and immediately into a roach warren is what I like to see.
Sorry,
so
it broke up there just for like the
sorry, I'll repeat that. No worries.
Yeah,
So those lings, they're going to put the pressure on. No chance for Denver to make banelings on Bly's side of the map. That's their pin back Denver. And you've gotten away with skipping that tech, so throw out a big round of drones behind it, a roach warren, and just jump up to the roach stage straight away. You can even do a timing attack if you want, but notice how Bly here, he can just run circles around those banelings. As long as he never engages the banelings head on, he's good. Denver diving across the map with his own lings. He wants to capitalize on this. He realizes the build order Bly is doing. That was a huge gamble from Denver. He's got no banelings at home. I would have, if Bly dived in, I mean, I guess he's making a ton of his own zerglings to reinforce. Denver's just going for it, man. It worked against TLO. Let's see if he can make it work versus Bly.
Oh, there we go. The Ling's getting a nice round here for Bly. He does actually push back the Lings of Denver so far. He doesn't have any Banelings along with this. He's just morphing them now on the front doorstep. 5 of them there for Denver. Bly's actually trying to make some drones right now, and he's on top of the Baneling cocoons.
Yeah, a little bit too close there. Bly didn't see when they started morphing, but if there's one man who's happy to take a gamble and just jump on him anyway, it's Bly. He knew those Banelings hadn't been there for a long time. Decided to go for it. The Lings here forcing the drones to pull on that ramp. Denver is cleaning up Bly's Lings on his side of the map. Good defense from Bly, though. He's up 9 workers. He's got roaches on the way. I mean, Bly is ahead in this scenario. He's got 3 base versus 3 base. He's just got to defend one more wave of Ling Bane.
Well, that's these counterattacks from Denver looks a little bit more convincing on paper, but Bly's got the better economy. Denver's kind of all in here, throwing out Lings and Banelings at him, wave after wave, but as the roach count of Bly gets higher and higher. Well, that's a lot of Banelings, though.
Just enough roaches to hang on here.
Oh, God, that was close.
Yeah, that almost tilted drastically. There's a point there, if there's a few more Lings, they can actually do some fantastic damage. And once the roach count, I mean, 1 or 2 roaches is bad. You need to get a number of them together to really make it work. And Denver's got to appreciate the counterattack potential. He's only on 23 workers right now. And look at that lovely Ravager save. Of course, for those who don't know, Ravagers have 5 armor in the cocoon, and they pop back out at full life. So that means a Zergling, a 5 damage unit, does half a damage per attack. That's the minimum damage any attack can do in StarCraft 2. Which means even if you've only got a 10 hit point Ravager cocoon, it's going to take 20 Zergling attacks to finish killing it, which is just ridiculous. So
it's a lot of nibbles.
Yeah, it's a great little way to save a unit on low hit points.
That's SimCity, but not good enough. The Lings find an opening. They're into the main base. Very wide open main here for Bly, so the drones are all on their lonesome.
Lots of damage going down. Lings are diving into the 3rd at the same time. They find an exposed queen. Bly is getting surrounded on both sides. Denver is as all in as they come here, using a bile to take out Zerglings. Roach is trying to hold the line, but the Lings actually get a lot of surface area. Good Ravager morphs again.
Oh, that cocoon with 1 hit point on that Roach. It survives, and as the dust settles, Bly is still up 14 workers here.
Yeah, 25 drones, just massing Lings. I do think there was a chance to drone behind this and make this a longer game, but I think Denver is just kind of saying, no way, dude. Like, look how far. I know I'm so far behind in drones. I'm just going to keep making Ling Bane and hope Bly messes up. And Bly here respecting this. He's like, yeah, I'm on 42 drones. Let's leave it there for now and just keep making roaches. He's got very good Overlord coverage. He sees more and more Lings flooding out. And as Bly here, I mean, you're kind of wishing you have a Baneling nest, but I think this is a big enough ball of roaches. He'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Lings are once again sneaking by that sort of, 1 hex wide wall in there.
Baneling's in the 3rd. Yeah, managed to blow up 10 drones there. Queen's going down there as well. Oh, man. Denver making the most out of what was a terrible situation. These Lings in every mineral line, man.
Yeah, and this is actually evening out their playing field here, and this is going to turn it into a game. He can keep doing more and more damage here on those drones. I mean, there is still the problem for Denver that there's a big roach army that he kind of can't beat.
Yeah, that's a big problem for him. He's still down 3 workers even as this starts to fizzle out. 1 or 2 more drones going to go down. It should tie up the worker count here. 18 roaches and a Ravager on the field. So Denver is not going to take his finger off that button. Well, where did they come from? Did they call? They must have morphed in the corner.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
gosh.
they didn't do as much as I thought. I was so excited. I was like, oh my god! I clicked on the main base and just saw like 6 banelings. So like, what the hell? But I mean, he got the 3rd base. Now it's 2 base Zerg against a 3 base Zerg. And I mean, as Blight, you got to go across the map here, right? What do you do at this point?
The hard thing is you're going to get base traded. Your Roachmore and Evo are in this super weird, awkward position where it's not actually making a wall. And you would love to wall off as Bly right now. You want to wall off, go for a big attack, and try to win the game. But as Denver, I feel like, yeah, he's keeping his lings back, but now he's starting to snake them across. He's purposely avoiding Overlord vision. So Bly is only going to see them now, only at this moment when they're most of the way across the map. Denver is like, okay, I am ready to backstab. And I mean, I wouldn't mind 1 round of drones out of Denver, but you can see he's just like, nah, man, I'll just keep making Ling Bane. And I think he's got to be real careful. He can't take this fight on the actual army. He's going to try to pick off a cocoon, but once again, those Ravager cocoons, man. Anti-Zergling armor. We've got Burrow and +1 attack on the way. Bly is like, this is going to be 20 drones for a few minutes. He wants to get the upgrades to win this scenario.
Oh, the banelings from the south side. He gets a big surround there. Good clumped up roaches in the south, but just enough to survive the battle.
Yeah.
Bly pull into the south side. But another good fight for Bly.
Indeed. I mean, the Lings go in. There's only 1 drone on that natural, which I guess maybe gives Denver hope, but I really do think when there's that many roaches, you need a crazy number of banelings to actually be able to punish them for the clump up. And Zerglings against clumped up roaches really bad. Banelings, of course, not the most effective, but they kind of counteract the roaches once they're clumped. Denver's still trying to just attack, and there's still a chance maybe with the base trade, but I see that Burrow, I see that +1. I think these are genius commitments at this point in the game, because that roach army will just keep healing. It will be practically unkillable, and as long as he just rallies the rest of his roaches at home, I don't see Denver stopping this army, and I don't see him getting a base trade going either.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Pig. 4 or 5 roaches back at home for Bly to handle that Ling counterattack. Denver's morphing banelings. Let's look at his defensive army. Looks like maybe about 20 Lings there, maybe less.
No Overseer, no detection though.
Yeah, so the burrowed roach is going to be a problem. That just means he's going to burrow the low hit point roaches while the
no.
still take the fight.
Not good enough for Denver. A fantastic choke point there for Bly. And even though they were clumped up in there, I mean, Denver tries to fight back in a crazy game. I'm going to check the units lost real quick. Denver lost 2,500 more resources at the end of that game, but I like the idea of hitting a Ling Bane attack and skill checking a player like Bly. He loves to skip Baneling Nest. He's a greedy boy, you know? Get in there, put the pressure on him. But I do think at some point, perhaps Denver needed to just squeeze out a round of drones at home. And I guess, actually, you remember that first Baneling morph got completely cleaned up. I think that was where Denver's build fell apart. Like that build, you need to sneak your Banelings up on Bly's side of the map. You cannot let him snipe down your first Banelings, because that's what gave him time to get roaches out. So a bit of a mistake there for Denver, and suddenly he's got to win 3 games in a row.
It's a really good breakdown, yeah. This is tough, man. Being at like 3 in the morning, having to win 3 games in a row against a fella that's on the precipice is doing exactly that at 4 in the morning. And it's been such weird games as well, you know. Okay, the wrong map for game 3, so we're at the... They hosted Nightshade, and it's meant to be Simulacrum.
Nightshade's my favorite.
It's my favorite. I like purple and darkness.
Yeah. Like mixing some poison. Go out, pick some Nightshade flowers. Playing my Elder Scrolls games.
Nightshade I've learned since getting a dog, and I'm a very dedicated dog dad, that whenever I'm, you know, getting something new in the garden, or I got an extra bit of whatever vegetable, I'm like, can I give this to the dog? Nightshade's a big no-no for doggies. No Nightshade. It's anything of that family is relatively dangerous to dogs. They, like, you can give them a little bit, but it's like it will make them sick and could lead to further complications.
Nightshade. It's a cool looking flower. I really like the flower. Looks cool. All right. Very nice.
It's a Maris map, and it is named after a song, I believe.
Oh,
cool. Maris likes her metal, because that girl got taste, as well as good map making skills.
Hells to the yeah. Not a bad map here either. Another rather small and somewhat aggressive one.
Why do you call a Simulacrum aggressive? You've mentioned it before. Please
just the bases are so spread out, you know? It's just hard to defend. It just favors attacking because it's hard for the other person to defend, right? As a Terran, it's like wide choke with no ramp at your natural. But even in Zerg vs. Zerg, like the Ling Bane, remember we saw Denver just attack the third Atilo relentlessly on this map. It's just your bases end up very spread out, and I feel like that always allows the person who's aggressive to kind of find the opening, bounce between, and hopefully find some openings.
Well, introductions potentially for the last time as he is going for that early pull again. Oh, no, actually, it's a pretty good counter build here from this fella in the bottom right from Infinity Gaming. It is Denver going for the pull and gas first here against Bly in the top left, who is going for the 12 pull.
12 pool expands, so yeah, we'll have to see. I really like talking about the different types of 12 pool. Sometimes you just go 10 lings straight into queens, drones. You always got an expansion behind it. Some people like to build like 18 zerglings. Like they just don't stop building slowlings and microing their ass off. I think for Bly it'll be 10 to 14 zerglings, so we'll keep an eye on that to see how much he's committed and how much he needs to do damage. He hasn't started a hatch yet. What is this drone doing?
What is that drone doing?
What is this? Why is this hatch going down like 30 seconds late? What is this?
Bly, hello.
Oh, so he was going to build a spine with this, but then he saw the hatch was... Oh, he was going to build a spine and pull drones. Okay, so he was going to build a spine on the high ground. He was going to pull drones and build spines in the base. He was going to go all in. He saw the hatchery, said, whoa, that's a pull first. Back out of this. And stopped at just 8 zerglings, built a hatch, started building drones. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that drone scout at first. My fault. He's also hidden his zerglings until this moment and is trying to just, reveal it at the last moment. So Denver only going to get it wind of this as his hatchery starts getting hit. I think the zerglings might go straight into the main, though. Look for a queen sniper, a few drones.
Yep, and they come here. The queen getting into a nice position, though, between the spawning pool and the hatchery. It's trying to be in range of those lings. Whoop, get back
Nicely
in your house.
done. I would like her to just come over to the mineral line to cover this a little bit better. We're losing a little more mining time than you'd like
That's what the
here.
lings are waiting for. They want her to come out of her nest.
I mean, she's got drones to cover her, though, so she really is fine there in the mineral line. The lings will not win us around. If they go for the queen, that's wasted DPS, because the drones will drill through you and kill all your lings. The queen will survive on red hit points, and you'll go, cool, I damaged a unit that'll slowly regen. So I think a bit of a mistake on the micro. Denver a bit nervous after being down 2 games. Should not have lost 3 workers. Still a good position, and overall a good hold. And definitely an advantage with Ling speed about a minute ahead, Baneling Nest already down. But about even workers on both sides, so Bly not too unhappy. This is absolutely a playable game.
Denver's going to turn on the Source Pig. He's going to take those aggressive pants out of Bly's closet and see how they fit.
It's a lot of Zerglings. Not a bad choice. He's got 1 Zergling in Bly's main. Bly, though, he's like, I know this trick. I did one of these in your main base in game 1, do you remember? I'm not going to let it happen to me, man.
See, you've played Knifey Spoony before.
We're going to put a spine down Bly, or are we just going to rely on Queenling Bane?
No Banes for spine. For Bly, rather.
He's going to try an Evo chamber. Yeah, create a secondary choke there. It's not a super tight choke. He's going to have to put 2 queens on the north. He's going to have to pull those drones out of this mineral line at the very least, but a very nice little defensive setup there from Bly. Those drones a bit exposed, though.
Alrighty. Yeah, there's lings getting deflected so far, but of course the dangerous part is when the boom boom comes, and in comes those banelings. That open it. It's open again. Oh, Bly. Not position.
Oh, no. That's a lot of banelings, Maynard. 2 banelings go down on the low ground, but the queens are going to take forever to get up here. There's no creep connecting these bases, and the banelings having a party. Those drones on the left just get blasted. The banelings do get focused down, so well done there by Bly, but not enough, man. Too much damage. He's been droning behind this. That's 26 drones to 6 here. Denver, with a very safe pool first opening, says, okay, Bly, you've been very aggressive. I think you'll do it again to try to finish the series. And these lings creating a lot of chaos back at home. Drones, queens, tons of stuff coming out for Denver. He is way ahead.
Yeah, this is looking really good for the French Zerg here. Bly on the back foot. Now, Bly does go for some counter drone damage there with some banelings. He actually connects with a lot of them. Only kills 2, but really softens up, like, I want to say 6. Actually is 6. Who's counted?
7, Maynard.
Wait.
Quick maths.
Shit.
I'm the worst co-caster. I can't believe I corrected you on that. That's like the most petty thing I've ever done on a cast. I'm like, Devin Maynard, you counted the number wrong. Guys, remember, if you're trying to figure out who to give that Twitch Prime sub to, no, give it to the one who can count good.
Everyone keep in mind that even though what I say is wrong, at least my voice won't cut out while I'm saying it.
He's checkmated me, and he has got me there, guys.
Is it better to say correct things and have it broken up, or say wrong things and have it clear as crystal? I don't know, man.
Keep voting for fake news Maynard, guys. Keep voting for fake news Maynard with his fake numbers of wounded drones, all right?
Yeah. X5_pig is the most corrupt Twitch page I've ever seen in my life. Totally corrupt. Zero moral fiber. My administration would not put up with this.
Oh, man. Denver is going to go out, try to take a third base, up 11 workers, +1 roach speed on the roach warren, sorry, on the way. That Lair's about to finish. There's going to be a lovely roach timing coming out here for Denver. Bly accidentally attacks his own Zergling and then does decide to target the drone. Nice. And delays the third a little. So Bly's comeback plan here, for those of you who don't know, he's going to try to drone up to try and get reasonably close in economy. And then he's going to lose the game no matter what he does because he's got nothing. he's got 3 queens. He's down 10 drones. I'm like, I think he's going to go mutas, and like the Spire will start as he dies. The Lings are going to cancel this third. Bly is so far behind in this game, man.
He's in a lot of trouble, but Bly is Bly, and he won't leave until the last unit falls.
Being forced into building Zerglings here as well. Not going to be the best against Denver's Roach follow-up. Denver not really doing a lot with the Lings, like, to be real. Does now go for the drones. But Lings are out. Like, really perfect defense from Bly there. It's just one of those things where you kind of look around here as Denver, you go, oh, you're on like 1.5 base saturation. I have a third hatch finishing. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about this Roach attack. You know, let's just make Roaches and got +1, got Roach speed. And no doubt we'll move across that map pretty soon.
Yeah, this is looking dicey. Kind of a similar situation from game 2 on World of Sleepers, where Bly's kind of had like that big Roach army. He's going to have Roach speed. He doesn't have +1, but he's going to have Roach speed and a lot of Roaches. Bly sees the Roaches like, nope! Taps out. I'm actually amazed Bly actually left that game. Normally normally he's like, I have a 1% chance to win this, and I'm going to go for it.
Well, normally he's staring at the unsolvable Rubik's Cube, and he's always finding a way, but that time he was looking at it rather than little colored squares, it was just pictures of dicks on each square, and he's like, oh, there's no way to solve this.
So even if I win, I lose.
Every road's a road to Dicktown.
Well, there you go. Point on the board for Denver. It's not going to be a 3-0 sweep. The comeback begins, but can he make it the whole way? 3 games in a row. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we get that game 5. Of course, next one's game 4. So I think this will probably be the Nightshade, I hope. The shadiest of nights.
Yeah, I mean, they were close. It's usually when you get the wrong map, it's because it's one map off. It's not like the one that's right at the end of the vetoes. At the map order, sorry. Ephemeron? Wow, we were super off.
Ephemeron.
They're trying to start the C map before we get to the A or the B map, Pig.
Oh my.
Oh my.
All right.
Against Nathanius. Cool.
Say, how long does planetary turret battlecruiser survive against Bly?
A really long time, actually.
I guess actually Nate's not afraid to open 1 base tank. Like, which would actually be pretty good against the 1 base Ravager. So why not?
Yeah. He's a slow expanding many mech unit Terran player. We should all subscribe to him.
Nate's awesome. Nate's great.
Nate's great, mate. I rate him 8 out of 8.
He is my favorite mate.
Wow, thanks. Did we forget Nate?
Did we forget Nate?
We did not forget.
Did he died?
Did he died? Does Nate is here?
Mom! Meatloaf!
All right, we're going to put Pig back in his corner here. Get him back in that trough. In the bottom right here, still a match point from the Ukraine. It's heading towards 4:30 in the morning, maybe even past that at this point. It is Bly.
On fire.
Yeah.
And also someone who's very hot. So hot right now, in fact. Playing a very safe opening once again in Game 4. It is Infinity Gaming's Denver.
Wale. Denver going for the anti-Bly opening. Cool and gas first.
Denver is a city, not a town. Denver is a town, not a village. Denver is a village, not a hut. Great conversation, Twitch chat. You guys have truly outdone yourself. This is... Right. I think I just gained brain cells.
Yeah. I had a conversation with someone one time who didn't believe me that Denmark was a town in Australia.
Oh, really?
But it is.
Yeah. And near Sydney, we have Toronto. Toronto is it's on the Central Coast. Yeah. We have a place called Scone as well. I'm like, really?
I find that in South Australia, a lot of the dodgy suburbs usually have the prettiest names.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Springvale.
Like Rosewater.
Rosewater.
Yeah. Rosewater is a town in South Australia that is an absolute shit show.
Even the Rosewater couldn't clear the stench from your nostrils.
I was a pizza delivery boy back in the day. Whenever I was like, a delivery to Rosewater, I'm like, nah. The house is like, a coked out mum asleep on a mattress while her 6 clearly unfed children answer the door. And I'm like, oh my God. And there's like burned out cars and front lawns and just like actual dumpster fires. And
yeah, we don't. I've never seen a dumpster fire in real life. I've always wanted to.
Yeah. A couple of a bunch of stacked up tire wheels set ablaze. That is.
This is the Lego of this neighborhood. Like no one's got Lego in their homes. You just stack some tires and light them on fire.
Set them on fire. Just pour a gasoline on them. That's Rosewater, man. It's a lot better lately. I gotta say, a lot better lately than it was when I was a teenager and a delivery boy. But
yeah, I feel like a lot of neighborhoods have been cleaned up here in Sydney as well. That used to be kind of dodgy. Like in general, I think
it used to be a bit funny, wasn't it? Or
oh yeah, a little bit. It's like a city center now. It's its own city basically. I mean, I live at Lidcombe, known as the brewery of Tooheys New, and not much else other than high stabbing rate decades ago. And now it's just this nice Korean neighborhood. And it's all gentrified, and there's just Korean barbecues everywhere and karaoke joints and stuff. And it's like, oh, okay.
Well, Pig, do you like Zerglings?
Dude, I'm a big fan of Zerglings. People talk about me and they say, oh, Pig loves roaches. And I'm like, mate, you don't even know. Can a roach literally blow itself up on another unit? I don't think so. And that's what a Zergling can do. It can morph into a Baneling and it can blow itself up on someone else's face. It can literally get overly excited, charge across the map with a big old YOLO off 25 drones and go, let's go! That's a solid wall though. Denver's actually looking real safe, man. This is an all-in from Bly. He's still rallying Lings.
Yeah. Very, very committed. And he's not going to be happy about seeing that wall. He's making some Banes now, but you need a lot of Banes to bust through this bad boy.
You have to click on the Roach Warren. If you really want to make this work as Bly, you got to click on the Roach Warren. It's the most important structure to kill here. It technically has 150 more hit points than the Evo Chamber, but if you can stall Roach production and that Roach speed, I feel like you've got an opportunity, maybe. As it is... Oh, look at this. Queen. Oh, she a bit crazy. Barely gets back in the wall.
These Banelings, where do they go, man? They want the queens. And the Banelings want the queens.
They decide to take out the Evo, kind of, and I think at this point, Bly's like, yeah, I mean, that was just such a solid wall. Don't get me wrong, I always talk about how doing this is actually a good gamble versus gasless players to mix in there. It's really good gamble. Players just tend to get a bit too greedy with their gasless build. They skip the spine. Sometimes their wall-off's a little bit jank. But this time, Denver had such early queens, so much transfuse, solid wall, added the second layer of Evos, replaced his +1 upgrade. He's got a big squad of 11 roaches there. And I mean, it really is... and this is even worse than the situation of the reverse in the World of Sleepers game, This is really just the ball's in Denver's court, and it looks like we're going to get a Game 5.
Yeah, speaking of balls, looks like they're going to be placed firmly on the natural of Bly in a second here. It's a lot of roaches. And the army of Bly, it's good for counterattacks. It's good for small amounts of roaches, but not this many. Not like this.
Oh, here we go. Roaches coming in, sniping out the queen. Those spines not quite ready. Roach speed is done. No +1. So they do take 3 hits to kill these Zerglings. You see the Zerglings barely surviving the second shot with red hit points. But yeah, the cocoon does get focused down by the queens. These other Zerglings running circles around. Spinecrawler's getting focused just before they finish. And this is just a great trade here for Denvo. He's doing real nice. He's got a lot more roaches coming across. Avoids the spine, wriggles behind the mineral line, and that's just fantastic micro from Denver.
Certainly is. A couple of roaches getting a couple bops there on the noggin from the Spinecrawler, but the roaches are more than happy to be nestled in this corner. Just letting him pull drones into that, losing more and more drones, losing more and more lings. And this is not holdable anymore for Bly. We're going to get a game 5, guys. More StarCraft. I like it. Yes.
I like it. A couple Banelings morphing in Denver's main. I love, like, in the midst of the chaos, you know, Bly's always doing something. And he's going to try to take out some drones as his last act in this game. Going towards the natural, not the main. Wrong base to be going to, Bly. Ah.
GG.
GG. A couple of shout outs. Big thank you, Farah, for the 1-year resub. Much love. You know, we gave a whole talk about how, you know, we don't often get as much support while we are casting compared to our normal streams, and how we do need it. And now it's time to... Oh, I can't even pretend to do it. Do you remember? Do you see that? You saw that clip, right, Maynard, with the girl like shouting at her chat to like support more?
Oh, did I see that clip? For 2 weeks straight, I was always just, every now and then, I'm just like...
Kept popping back up on the timeline.
$5?
$5?
Seriously? After my speech about needing support, you don't have $5?
What are you doing with your time that you have time to watch me play video games and you don't have $5 to subscribe? Oh, we love you guys. We love you guys, whether you can afford to support or not.
Especially
Thank
if
you
you
so
have
much.
$5.
If you have $5, we love you a little bit more.
It's a little bit more. Good memes. Yeah, dude, I actually forgot about that. I'm glad you reminded me, because that was one of my favorite memes of the last couple weeks.
It was so funny. Yeah, I like watched it. My jaw like steadily dropped. I was watching the clip the first. I was like, oh my. And they're like, it's like she's satire. She's satire. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm like, I hope she's satiring.
I'm like, even if it is satire, it still is firmly in the realm of hilarious. So it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right. For the last time, guys, we're in game 5. So the winner of this map is the winner of the whole damn thing. In the bottom right, this is Infinity Gaming's Denver from France.
And his opponent up here in the top left, starting out with a 2-0 advantage. It's now tied up 2 apiece. It's Bly on fire.
And he's raising his edge.
Whoops. So yeah, hatch first, this time for Denver. No longer afraid after the previous 2 games of pool first.
Oh, whoop.
You right?
Did the Discord totally die?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Look,
Sorry, I was Googling.
It broke up for like a solid couple seconds there, so I like missed most of what you said. I might have to solo cast next week, depending on how this
yeah, no, if it keeps up, we can't fix it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should do that. And we could always branch out to other less Discord buggy people as well, you know? I mean, if you start seeing other people...
Skype.
Actually, you know what? Or just use like Whereby or whatever, you know, one of those apps that we use when we're on like the Pylon show and stuff and podcasts and things. Zoom or Whereby, or, you know, there's a whole bunch of them, yeah. Appear in.
Yeah. It's actually not a terrible idea. I could try Zoom.
Yeah, we'll just use one of those next time, and I reckon it'll be way more solid. We can hop in a Slack channel together, Maynard.
Just start a Slack group and just you know, get out a nice waterfall diagram of our plans for the week.
I love when people try to get me to join a Slack, and I'm like, you realize I don't have a real job, right? And like joining a Slack would be the equivalent of like wearing a tucked-in shirt and a fucking suit to work. Like, it's not in my wheelhouse. Like, I'm not an adult, okay? Like,
Did you say a tucked-in suit?
Tucked-in shirt with a suit.
Okay. With a suit, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I ever see you wearing a suit jacket and you're tucking that into the belt of your pants, I'm like,
Oh, new segment at midnight at Katowice a few weeks from now. People are like, is his jacket tucked into his underwear?
The band's underwear band. Oh my god. Anonymous, thank you for gifting a tier 1 to 546 Marine. Welcome to the main army. Thank you for the support, mate. We haven't actually done subs in a while, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, all right. Lingy's going to come in for Bly. Good little pullback on the drone, though. The queens say, nah, leave. A bit of miss micro, actually. I think those queens could have A-moved, but there we go. Does spot the quick lair, does Bly, sees no link speed going, says, it's a gasless build. I love this little queen. This puts fear into you as Denver. When this overlord goes down, you're like, oh no, I have no vision. Like, the other overlord should try to move down there for sure. Wait, that queen's continuing her journey? Oh, this is a Targa queen. Targa used to do this. Sometimes he'd be like, I'm just going to send a queen across the map to scare the shit out of you, and I'm going to macro behind it.
Some Norwegian Zerg plays of yesteryear.
Bly was probably the one who actually invented this, and he's like, what?
Probably.
You're not actually giving me credit. Been playing this game since it came out. Goddamn trailblazer, man.
Full on wall here for Denver, so once again, the Ling's not going to find too much love. Bly, smartly enough, is just droning back at home. Yeah, his overlord shows up. The queen shows up right in front of the natural of Denver, and he's like, well, you can't come out here and deal with that.
It's a good move, man. I'm actually going to do this next time I'm playing a gasless player, because I like to use the Ling pressure. And I always feel like I wish I could get something more for having a few Zerglings outside their base, but yeah, this is it. I mean, it scares them. They don't know if there's an all-in coming. I'm really surprised Denver didn't rotate that northern overlord to replace the one outside the base. I really feel like he could have done that. And even if the queen was still there, he could have pulled it back to the cliff on the high ground or something like that. The Lings here say, you can't leave. Oh, Ling speed did go down. It was a delayed Ling speed for Denver. Oh, cheeky.
And Denver's been making lots of Lings, guys. He's also been turtling on 2 bases for a little bit and sneaking a cheeky spire up there in the main base behind that lair. So there's the plan.
I used to make fun of this build because only like mid-GM players on NA would do this sort of thing, and true. And now it's like actually the best Zerg players mix this awesome mind game players in, and I'm like, oh, I guess that those years of me disrespecting this on the ladder is actually like, you're the idiot. This is actually a great build. Bly had no idea this was coming. But if he can surround, the Lings, you can't leave.
That's a big engagement there for Bly. Just annihilates those Lings of Denver.
Very nicely done. But Muta's already on the way, and I don't know if Bly fully appreciates what's happening. He's building roaches to go with his ton of Zerglings right now.
It's a 3-gas roach. It's like a normal follow-up here for the Zerg, which unfortunately none of these things shoot up, Pig.
Yeah, I mean, he's low on drones. He's got too many overlords on the map. His high-energy queen is stranded in the middle of the map. It's a good snipe on the third, but the thing is, you don't really need that third as Denver right now. Your opponent has to invest in spores, which is incredibly expensive. Look at this chat of a queen. She turns around and chases off the 4 mutas. They realize, wait, we do beat 1 queen. But yeah.
Rallying units here, just trying to buy him time back at home to get spores up in another round of queens.
He's too low on drones at home, though, behind this. I feel like Bly's got a drone super hard right now. Otherwise, he's kind of stuck in this weird position. And those transfusers hold the door, man. There's no third base to snipe. There's nothing exposed out there. Denver can send his Lings straight across the map while his mutas deal with this.
He certainly can. At the moment, he's just super focused on dealing with the Lings of Bly. Bly's also sent a lot of his overlords towards Denver. Are these sacrificial overlords so that the mutas aren't killing his drones?
That's an accident. There's just so much going on right now for sure. I mean, I'd love to hand him it was a conscious decision, but I really don't think it was.
Here. I mean, I always have the benefit of the doubt because these players are better than I'll ever be, but it's like, you know, seemed big brain.
Nice fight by Denver here. Really good micro. Just manages the concave well. Relatively equal Ling numbers on both sides, but he does end up holding on at that third. Trades the Lings relatively evenly. Spore barely survives, does get cancelled and rebuilt for Bly. The Muta's just picking off what they can. And I think seeing that queen count, if they come back in and still see not many drones, they do need to realize just how low on economy Bly is and how scary the queen roach push is going to be. Because it's going to be queens, roaches, zerglings for Bly, 100%. I really don't think we're going to see him drone to the next level. As I say that, he adds 3 drones. So, I mean, he's Bly. He's the most flexible player in the world, right? He can do the splits, man.
Yeah. Yeah, this kid makes Van Damme look like he's stiff, you know? Did you get that one? The Van Damme splits thing? No?
I wanted to make a really dirty joke and I was struggling to contain myself.
Yeah, you were like battling your inner.
Yeah, there was like an internal battle going on. If the stream could see my face, they would have seen me twitching a little bit.
He's like, I wanted it so bad. There's a lot of people rushing right now. I don't know.
Oh, this is a good attack.
From Bly.
Good attack, yeah.
Done.
Real nice damage. The mutas are picking off some Ovies on the other side, but they got to be careful. Lots of queens out for Bly. Bly's gonna go mutas of his own? No way.
No.
Oh, you madman. You absolute madman. It's double upgrade Lings here for Denver, but he's got such a muta advantage. I mean, that's the last thing you expect, but it's just crazy. It's crazy. There's no way you're gonna catch up in mutas. Bly's like 8 minutes from now. I'll show you the 30 mutas all at once will come out that have been banking up in the back of my base. Like, that's actually the game plan. That's the only way he makes this work. So maybe he's hoping that Denver overreacts and goes into roaches here. But since he's just going Lings, a couple upgrades is only 2.5 mutas worth of gas. It's not that big a deal. And the Lings are actually really good in muta versus muta.
It's such a massive gamble from Bly, what he's going for here. I mean, it's slowing down everything else. He is banging up gas, so he very clearly intends to make a lot of mutas as soon as that Spire finishes up. But he doesn't actually have a ton of Spire to work with. Ling's in the natural.
Oh, the door wide open.
Hello, Spire.
Lings right on the drones on both mineral lines. Muta's going to go for the Spore. Nice transfuses though. Machine gun transfuse on that Spore. Finally does go down. And there's just so many Mutas here with the Lings as well. He's just going to jump on those queens. Not enough anti-air here for Bly. Denver, decisive as ever. Jumps in, senses his moment, and love to see him just take out these Spore crawlers on the third. Looks like he will do it.
He's actually doing a lot of damage to the main base as well. Not only just killing drones, but killing roaches. Bly down 18 workers here, and it looks like, I mean, it seemed unlikely to have a reverse sweep, but Denver is on the precipice, man. It's looking really good here for him. He's got every advantage.
Yeah, beautiful play here by Denver. I mean, he got caught out. Say what?
Third base is dead.
Yeah, it goes down. And the roach counter attack is desperate. Corruptors. Oh, he's going to go corrupt. I mean, that still doesn't... Yeah, you'd need... Corruptors obviously are okay versus mutas, but just too far behind in that count. And this was just a textbook defense by Denver. Did not overreact to that queen moving out and clearing his overlords in the early game. And tricked his opponent. Bly, the one who got caught out by the surprise mutas. Denver, I like that he was willing to play this kind of tricky style in Game 5 of this series. And obviously, you know, Bly's strength is choosing the correct decision for that specific scenario. You obfuscate, you hide the information, and suddenly Bly makes the wrong decision. He's committing to too much roachling, not enough workers, and was blindsided by those mutas hitting him on the map.
Yeah, I mean, the Corruptors kind of makes sense here. Denver's main army is these Mutalisks, but he's just got so much of it. That's the real problem here. There's the GG from Bly. Denver, with the reverse sweep, is going to be the champion of the 5th American Weekly here for the ESL Pro Tour. Well played to the Frenchman. GG.
GG. Wild bunch of series there. Bad luck to Bly, you know, crushing the semi 2-0, going straight up 2-0 again. But in the end, Denver just holds strong, starts shutting down the aggression. A couple of pool first openings, very safe. Good adjustment there by Denver. And yeah, that's our champ. Denver wins the EPT America's Cup number 5. Crushing it. And yeah, damn, GG, well played.
And these points are going to start mattering, guys. Keep in mind that these are happening every single week. And, you know, if you're getting 10 points every single week in the grand scheme of things, sure, you know, the Masters events, the qualifiers for the Masters events are going to be awarding a lot more points. You're going to get a lot of bang for your buck from those Masters tournaments if you do well. But they're going to matter towards the end of the year. When we get, I mean, and even towards the end of the year, it doesn't really matter because there's still 3 more months of the season. Because the World Final is actually at IM Katowice in 2021. So you have a lot of time and a lot of weeklies between now and then to accumulate tons of points. These wins are absolutely huge. So good stuff. Well played. And of course, the $100. Bit of cash.
Hells yeah.